Welcome to another GoodForm Weekend Preview. Cody, Winnell and Jason Bonnington ahead of the Breeders' Crown semi-finals. One of the great meetings of the year, I reckon, Breeders' Crown semi-final night at Bendigo.
Yeah, it's like preliminary final weekend, isn't it? Grand final next week, Super Saturday now, not Super Sunday next weekend, but can't wait to get to Bendigo. Ever since it switched back to its spiritual home there at Bendigo, the Breeders' Crown for this semi-finals night, it's been a cracker, so can't wait to get stuck in.
Yeah, such competitive racing. We've got 8 semi-finals we're going to have a look at, so we're going to actually put the horn in the background, I believe. We've got Tim Hallett there, our director, and we're going to go for about 90 seconds.
Horatio Hornblower.
Horatio Hornblower, 90 seconds on each race. In the words of Tony Barber, I think it was.
Right.
Time starts now. Race 1, the Always Be Mickey, Breeders' Crown, 2-year-old fillies first semi-final, Bon.
Yeah, toughest of the night in terms of the winning chances. 4, 8, 2, 9 and 7 for me. I can see Gemstone will probably find the front and win. 2 critical points here. I don't think Amelia Rose will get across rocking with Sierra at the start, making life harder for her. And I reckon at the value, maybe the best betting proposition 1 by 5 is Alice K. But this is a really wide open qualifier. Your thoughts, Coach?
I went 4, 7, 8, 2 and 9 as the next one, Alice K. I think Gemstone looks the hardest horse to beat. Islanta's an interesting runner. Obviously, we saw what this filly could do when she won 2 starts back. What did you make of the last run, went second?
Fine, just fine. I mean, you shouldn't expect a horse to do what it did when it lost all that ground and got the job done at start number 2 in the Tatlow. But I think the wide draw makes life hard, as too does the proliferation of Emma Stewart trained runners. That's why I think when it's paying $4 or $5 and Alice K, who went so well in her heat's paying $15 or $13, depending on where you shop, it's the decision's made pretty easy for you.
So it's an early value play for you potentially with
Yes.
Alice K each way.
1 by 5 maybe.
Fantastic. We haven't even required the horn for the first one, so let's go on to race 2, the Woodland Stud, Breeders' Crown, 3-year-old fillies first semi-final. And here, Bon, how did you rate this race? I found this one pretty tricky, I must say, and I disagreed with the market a bit, and I suspect you have too.
Yeah, look, I reckon I originally thought I'd found something at value here with our road to Mecca. I think it'll get across. Bazinga, great New Zealand form. The wraps were big, but the 2 runs here on Victorian soil, you have to believe what you see. She's just gone no good, Bazinga. So how she's going to turn that around, I don't know. I reckon our road to Mecca leads. Myra Dawn has very similar form lines to our road to Mecca through the British Challenge Series in New South Wales. So I think she's the best value in the race. Looking fabulous. I wouldn't be surprised if the puppet just hunts through along the poles here, hoping that Bazinga leads or expecting it to. And that's going to make life hard for Looking Fabulous, though. She's got a great turn of speed on her night. And I think we both agree that at a massive quote, maybe you could get involved on a 1 by 3, 1 by 5 nature with Enchanted Stride.
Yeah, well, I couldn't help but have something on Enchanted Stride and actually end up tipping it on top purely because I think it's such big odds. I've seen, I think, $50 or $61 is available out there. It's crazy and a big price to place as well. David Miles told Michael Howard this week that this horse, it was Tim O'Connor, I think he told, that Enchanted Stride would improve significantly out of the Vicbred series. So just on that alone.
Finished 4th in the final.
Absolutely, exactly. In what looks a winnable heat, I just think it's a terrific price. So I agree with you there. I went 2, 8, 4 and 3. I think Looking Fabulous can run a good race. Myra Dawn, I think you probably half talked me into that. Value and our road to Mecca for 4th.
Right.
There's the horn. Race 3, the Down by the Seaside Breeders' Crown, 2-year-old Colts and Geldings first semi-final. And we've got a short price favourite here, Bon.
Moral, absolute living, breathing, existing certainty is Perfect Stride. I went back through the Kiwi replays. He's got blazing gates, but I know that the Tiger Arm is very quick in crunch time as electric off the arm, but I reckon they'll have a little go early. Perfect Stride will lead in its ear, and from there, the speed will drop straight to the race because no one's going to want to go and attack Perfect Stride. I think you'll just be able to dictate, dominate, no breeze horse engaged or no even part-time enforcer. So this is one that we can get hugely aggressive on. If you don't mind the short price favourites, around $1.55. Saint Emilion, I reckon, is underrated in the race, and Crunch Time. If Crunch Time does get across and then hand up to Perfect Stride, it'll run second.
I think that'll happen. I think he's got blazing gate speed up in Sydney Crunch Time.
He has, but that Menangle gate speed, I think, I'm really confident Perfect Stride will hold him, but we'll find out, obviously, at Bendigo on Saturday night. But St. Emilion I like. Crunch Time, particularly if your speed map prevails. And look, your Star Hunter, Do Not Surrender will improve off an economical trip. But Perfect Stride certainty.
Star Hunter's a funny one, isn't he? Has loomed up and looked good on a couple of occasions, but just might be a little bit behind some of the good ones, obviously.
It's been up for a long time too. Went right through the APG, so you just wonder how much gas is left in the tank.
Yeah, I went 3, 7, 8 and 2. Agree with you on Perfect Stride. Does look really hard to beat. As I said, with my map, crunch time, I do have Finding the Lead, so I'll probably play a trifecta in this 3, 7, 8, 2.
All right, we'll go a bit head-to-head on the speed map. Race 4.
Absolutely. Race 4, the Always Be Mickey Breeder's Crown, second semi-final for the 2-year-old fillies. How did you see this one?
Yeah, Majida will win here comfortably, and I'm not telling anybody anything they don't already know. But what happens early, I've got a little bit of a crunch time theory here. I think Michelle Lee Mack can get across everything at the start and then hand up to Majida. I wouldn't be surprised if the Candyman Gregory Sugars said, look, if you want to get across, fine, Cole, just go across and I'll retake the advantage from you after that. And if that speed map prevails and you believe in it, you have faith in it, then Michelle Lee Mack should be finishing second or third at very worst. And that's where you can build your exotics. If you think that Majida is just going to lead outright, then it creates a situation where I've been playing really wide in exotics. Michelle Lee Mack would still go in the mix, but you'd include Stars by the Beach. Ask me, I'll tell you. Final Piece has been disrespected after some wonderful runs, and even the Ultimate. But I think you've got a bigger opinion of her than I have.
Oh, look, it's slightly bigger. It's probably just the way this race could play out. If Majida was able to just work its way to the front and the Ultimate gets a cheap run, I think the Ultimate could run a place. But the one I really like is the 7 here, Final Piece. I agree with you. This horse has been completely disrespected. $126 the win. That's because Majida's such a short quote. But you're getting $7 for the place. I marked this horse about a $15 shot. This horse has got good form around the really good ones like Majida. And last start, just have a look at the replay punters climbing all over their backs at the finish.
The only little worry is when a horse like Majida finds the front and they start going really slow. If Final Piece has to go all the way back to last, which she might have to, that's where the concern kicks in. There's our horn.
Fingers crossed for Murph to pull off a cracking drive from gate 7. What about the second semi-final for the 2-year-old Colts and Geldings, sponsored by Down by the Seaside? And we see Be Happy Mac here, who might just be the premier 2-year-old.
I just sent an article around, as a matter of fact, in HRV, quoting George Bernard Shaw, if you can't change your mind, you can't change anything. And I've changed my mind on Be Happy Mac. I thought he was probably the equal of any 2-year-old in the country, but not head and shoulders above. I've altered my opinion. I think he is actually probably head and shoulders above. His performance last time out and ahead of the series where he sat parked outside his stablemate Miragon, put him to bed and won by more than a length, was arrogant. I think he's getting better as the season progresses. I think he'll just win. Now, we've seen with Miragon and Be Happy Mac, there's been part A was the Tatlow Stakes where Miragon handed up to Be Happy Mac. I think the owners probably said, I don't want to hand up next time. I want to park Be Happy Mac in a heat. But we've seen how that went. So I think Miragon will be handing up mid-race. Be Happy Mac will win. Place getters likely Zeus Bromac and Miragon. And I reckon Pacifico Dream's the one I'm willing to risk, even though he was devastating at heat level.
Yeah, it was really, really good in the heat, wasn't he, Pacifico Dream? But does have to do it differently here from gate 10. Looks a good trifecta race, I reckon. I agree with you. 9 to win, Be Happy Mac. I think Zeus Bromac and Miragon, they look clearly the second and third best.
If that map works out, then leader behind leader 3 poles does look a good play for mine.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I thought 6, 10, 2, 11 if you were playing first four. Sahara Sirocco's $81 with some bookmakers at the moment. That seems a crazy price.
It goes in exotics.
Absolutely. Race 60, 3-year-old Colts and Geldings first semi-final. And here we see the clash of Hurricane Harley, Demon Delight, and Max Delight as well. And of course, Jesse Duke. How did you see this race?
Look, it breaks my heart, but I'll be tipping against Hurricane Harley here purely because Max Delight has the kind of, I talk about 1-star, 2-star, 3-star. He has 4 to 5-star gate speed. I mean, he'll get across brevity very comfortably at the start. And once he does, where's the pressure going to come from? Jesse Duke will roll forward. I reckon when Demon Delight gets on his bike, he'll go and apply some pressure into the race. But I still think Max Delight will get it too easily through the first 700 metres, then be able to rip home. He's a speed horse. I think he'll employ that pace that he does have at the start and at the finish. Hurricane Harley, if there's real pressure through the middle stages from Demon Delight, Hurricane Harley will win, not Demon Delight. I'm willing to risk Demon Delight to some degree. And the other one, the best bet in the race might be Brevity straight at the drum, because if he's behind the leader, I know I have tipped him fourth in my tips, but I almost can't see him missing a place. I know that sounds like a contradiction in terms, but $3 seems an unbelievable price about Brevity the Drum.
Gee, he had a good Vic Bred series, didn't he, Brevity?
He's good in the heat of this series.
Yeah,
too.
absolutely. He's really grown as a racehorse. I've gone Hurricane Harley on top. I just think the way this race might play out, that it'll be able to just get home over the top of them at the end. I like Demon Delight. This horse is flying and has been for a long time. They're right up there with the premier 3-year-olds in the game. And you've got to respect Max Delight, as you say. Maps well, but also, how unlucky was this horse last start? You just never got a crack at him, never got out. Impossible to tell what could have happened. I went 9, 13, 4 and threw in Jesse Duke for 4th.
I'm sort of risking Jesse Duke and going forward 9, 13 and 2.
Race 7, the IRT Breeders' Crown, second semi-final for the 3-year-old boys. I quite like one here. What do you like in the 7th, Bob?
I'm pretty confident with Out to Play here. I reckon Malcolm's Rhythm, neither Malcolm's Rhythm nor Out to Play have blazing gate speed, but with the barrier draw advantage, I reckon Malcolm's Rhythm gets to the front. And once he gets there, I reckon Keeman will say, we don't get here very often in good races. I'm going to try and lead all the way. Lock and Vara, we know we'll get on his bike at some point. We assume we'll get around to sit outside the leader. That means Out to Play gets a beautiful spot just stalking the pair. And I reckon with Lock and Vara, just putting the pressure on through the middle stages, or just enough, I reckon that Out to Play will tip, roll and do what he's done, through the Vic Bred Super Series and run these down. But I've got a funny feeling based on some pre-chat conversation that you're going with Malcolm's Rhythm.
I am going with Malcolm's Rhythm. I agree with your map. I think that works out. I guess what I'm sort of punting on here is that Lock and Virat doesn't put too much pressure on. Now, sometimes you don't get a choice with a horse like Lock and Virat. He's that good, and we saw, up in Queensland, obviously pulled in the Derby, but still ran a monstrous race. I think Lock and Virat's the best horse in the race. I just think the way this race maps, I like Malcolm's Rhythm to win, to beat Lock and Virat and Out to Play.
Good test for Malcolm's Rhythm, because we see horses like he ran an unbelievable final mile last time out, and you see this with horses, and then they get their opportunity. He gets his opportunity here. He needs to prove that he's up to their level, and tomorrow night or Saturday night at Bendigo is the time for him, because if he gets beaten here, no way he can win the final.
Gee whiz, looking forward to that race. That's race 7 on the cards. Race 8 at Bendigo, the Woodland Stud Breeders' Crown 3-year-old filly, second semi-final, Bon?
Well, pretty much here in the camp of either I'm willing to trust or have faith in our Princess Tiffany to bounce back.
Yep.
Or you say, I hated what I saw in that on that rain-sodden track at Kilmore, and I want to take her on. Look, she's done too much through the course of her career. I think she's a quadruple Oaks winner, and with no disrespect to the rest, she's a 20-metre better horse than the second best horse in this race. And I reckon she will bounce back and she'll win.
So I wanted to ask you, how much, when you were doing the form and analysing this meeting, how much did you take out of that really rain-soaked last meeting that we saw at Kilmore? Because there were some strange results that night.
Well, the fact that there were a number of failures. I mean, Miss Streisand also failed badly. You could also take something out of the Queensland, them coming off the Queensland Carnival as well, I guess.
Yep.
So it is confusing, but I will say this. Our Princess Tiffany, without that run, would be $1.04 here.
Yeah.
And would smash them.
What are we getting?
$1.35, $1.40. I mean, if you want to run one through your multis and just say, I'm willing to take the risk that she bounces back, she's so much better than them. 2 times better, racing in really good form again, clear second pick. Miss Streisand, I reckon, might be able to bounce back. Leads easily from the pole marking draw. And look, Best Western was really good on that wet track, but I'd be hugely surprised if she caused an upset.
I think I'm exactly the same numbers as you, 10, 9, 1, 6.
Yep,
our Princess Tiffany, is there a chance she drifts even? And you might end up getting a price about this horse.
Well, the problem is, I think if she drifts, we've got a problem.
Okay.
Yeah,
fair call.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at race that's the last of our semi-finals. Let's look at the best plays, see if we can find something early for the punters, Bon.
I thought it was a bit rough that we got the horn there. I thought we got finished in time and we still got the horn.
I might have dragged it on a bit.
I don't know.
How about these hoodies, by the way, the Breeders' Crown hoodies that we're wearing today? I did hear Gangster's Paradise by, it was Coolio.
Coolio, yeah.
I was going to say Coolio Iglesias.
Coolio Iglesias. Bit of 23rd Psalm in there, and we might need to look to the heavens and say a few prayers to try and make some serious coin out of the program. I reckon best value might come up early in the card. We've already mentioned Myra Dawn, maybe even Enchanted Stride, Alice K1 by 5. So I reckon if you're looking for some value, play early in the program. The 2 Stone Cold Morals, if you want to run them through your footy bets, I reckon a Perfect Stride and Be Happy Mac. Yep. And I reckon we can get something out of the quaddie. If I was playing a quaddie, I'll be playing a quaddie. 9 won out in the first leg, 4 and 9 second leg. I'm going to leave out Malcolm's Rhythm and take you on here. 3 and 13 in the third leg, and our Princess Tiffany 1 out. So I'm going to play a number of quaddies on good form, but don't be too expansive because the dividend's not going to be huge and you're going to want it several times.
Yeah, and when I'll play 1 out with Malcolm's Rhythm to try and get the value there if we all follow bodied. No, absolutely. Put me down for the final piece and also Enchanted Stride, both on a sort of 1 by 5 at the odds, which I just think are a bit crazy at the moment. We'll be playing some trifectas as well, as we've spoken about. There look like some good money race opportunities there.
It's going to be an absolute crack. I really enjoyed the preview. Feel like we worked with the horn really well today, and I think maybe it could be a feature going forward.
fixture. Make sure you check out Punters Paradise too. Well done again on your work there, and Tim behind the camera, and Blake, of course. Thetrots.com.au for all the good form Punters Paradise information. Bon will be on track with Sky and Brittany on Saturday night at Bendigo. Looking forward to that. I'll be hosting the barrier draws with Toby McKinnon on Facebook. And of course, RSM, we've got Blake Redden in the studio. So plenty happening.
If we can't, well, hopefully one of us can find a winner throughout the course of the program. But look, there's so many platforms to view and listen to the action at Bendigo. So can't wait to get stuck in.